The Maserati's engine ticks in the silence. Lorenzo Vitali stands in the Nevada sand, staring at the body collapsed 10 feet from his car. She's face down, white uniform torn at the shoulder, one shoe missing. Her hand clutches something small against her chest. He doesn't move, doesn't reach for his phone. The wind carries dust across her motionless form, and for 3 seconds, Lorenzo considers getting back in the car. Then her fingers twitch. He crosses the distance in 4 strides, crouches beside her. Up close, he sees the blood dried along her hairline, the way her lips have cracked into small fissures. Her breathing comes in shallow pulls. "Can you hear me?" His voice cuts through the desert's hum. Her eyes flutter but don't open. Lorenzo slides one arm beneath her shoulders, the other under her knees. She weighs almost nothing. As he lifts her, the thing in her hand slips. A photograph, bent at the corners, spotted with what might be blood or sweat. It lands face up in the sand. Lorenzo freezes, stares down at the image. 2 men shaking hands outside a Vegas casino. One of them is Vince Morano. The other is Luciano Vitali, his cousin, the man who destroyed everything. The woman in his arms makes a sound, half breath, half word. Lorenzo looks at her face, then back at the photograph, then at the endless stretch of highway behind him. "Who are you?" he whispers. She doesn't answer. Her head lolls against his chest as he carries her toward the villa, leaving the photograph in the sand where the wind will eventually bury it. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Inside the compound, Lorenzo lays her on the leather sofa in his study. The room smells like old books and expensive whiskey. He brings water, a clean towel, and his septic. Her pulse beats steady against his fingertips when he checks her wrist. She wakes an hour later. Her eyes snap open, brown, wide, searching the ceiling like she's trying to remember which way is up. Lorenzo sits in the chair across from her, watching, waiting. "Where?" Her voice breaks. She tries again. "Where am I?" "Safe." He doesn't move. "Drink this." He extends a glass of water. She stares at it like it might be poison, but thirst wins. She drains half the glass, coughs, drains the rest. "There was a photo," Lorenzo says, "in your hand. Where did you get it?" Her eyes go sharp, afraid. She sits up too fast, winces, presses a hand to her ribs. "I need to leave. You collapsed in the desert. You're dehydrated, probably concussed." Lorenzo leans forward. "And you were holding a picture of my cousin. So no, you don't leave until you tell me why." The woman's breath quickens. She looks at the door, the windows, calculating. "My name is Naomi," she says finally. "Naomi Carter. And if you're connected to the Moranos, I'm already dead." Lorenzo's expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. "I'm not connected to the Moranos. Then why is your cousin in business with them?" The question hangs between them like smoke. Lorenzo stands, walks to the window, looks out at the red sand glowing under the afternoon sun. When he speaks again, his voice is quieter, colder. "My cousin is a traitor. He stole from my family, sold our secrets. And if he's working with the Moranos," he turns back to face her, "then maybe you and I have the same enemy." Naomi's hands grip the edge of the sofa. "I'm a waitress. I don't have enemies. I have a job and a brother who needs medicine," and her voice cracks. She stops, breathes. "I had a job before Vince Morano decided I was his property." Lorenzo moves closer, not threatening, just present. "Tell me what happened." She looks at him for a long moment, searching his face for something, truth, maybe, or just the absence of cruelty. Then she starts talking. Naomi's voice shakes at first, then steadies. Lorenzo listens without interrupting. "I work the night shift at Lucky's Diner, off Route 95. You know the kind, truckers, gamblers who lost too much, people passing through." She stares at her hands. "Vince came in 3 weeks ago, ordered coffee, left a $100 tip on a $6 check." Lorenzo waits. Next night, same thing. Then the night after, always late, always when the place was almost empty. Naomi's jaw tightens. He'd say things, quiet things, about how I was too pretty to be serving coffee, how he could put me in a penthouse, how I should be grateful someone like him noticed someone like me. You said no. Every time. Her eyes meet his. I have a brother. Diabetes. The insulin costs more than I make in a week. I couldn't afford to lose that job over some rich man's ego. Lorenzo crosses his arms. So what changed? Last Thursday, Naomi's breath hitches. He came in drunk. His friends were with him. 3 guys in suits that cost more than my car. The diner was closing. I was wiping down tables. She stops. Swallows. He cornered me in the kitchen. Said he was done asking nicely. That women like me needed to learn our place. Her fingers curl into fists. I told him to get out. He grabbed my wrist. So I hit him with a coffee pot. Lorenzo's mouth almost curves. Almost. Good. His friends came in. One of them punched me here. She touches her temple where the dried blood still darkens her hairline. Everything went blurry. They dragged me outside. I remember the van. The smell of cigarettes and cologne. Vince laughing. They took you to the desert. They were going to, she stops. Starts again. They were talking about what they'd do to me. Making jokes. Then the driver lost control. We hit something. The van rolled. Her voice drops to a whisper. The back doors came open. I crawled out before they could grab me. Lorenzo studies her. The torn uniform. The bruises forming along her arms. The way she holds herself like she's still bracing for impact. How long did you walk? I don't know. Hours. The sun came up. I kept thinking about my brother. About how he'd wait for me to come home. Tears slipped down her cheeks, but her voice stays level. I found a photo in a van. It fell out of Vince's jacket during the crash. I grabbed it because, I don't know, evidence. Proof. You didn't know who the other man was. Not until you asked about your cousin. Naomi wipes her face with the back of her hand. Who is he? Lorenzo walks to his desk, opens a drawer, pulls out a folder. He tosses it onto the sofa beside her. Inside are newspaper clippings, printed emails, photographs. Luciano Vitali. My blood. My betrayer. Lorenzo's voice could cut glass. He embezzled $40 million from the family business. Sold our shipping routes to the FBI. 3 of my men went to prison because of him. Naomi flips through the pages. Her hand stops on one photo. Luciano and Vince at a blackjack table, champagne glasses raised. They're friends, she says quietly. They're partners. Lorenzo takes the folder back. Luciano needed somewhere to hide his money. The Moranos needed someone with European connections. They've been laundering cash through that casino for 8 months. Naomi looks up at him. How do you know all this? Because I've been hunting him since the day he ran. Lorenzo's eyes are dark, empty. And now you've given me exactly what I needed. The words settle between them like a blade on a table. Naomi stands slowly. Her legs shake, but hold. What do you want from me? Lorenzo doesn't answer right away. He studies her. The steel under the fear. The way she doesn't look away, even though every instinct probably screams at her to run. I want, he says carefully, to give you a choice. What choice? You can leave. I'll give you money. New ID. Transportation to anywhere in the country. He pauses. Or you can stay. And we can make sure Vince Morano and my cousin both pay for what they've done. Naomi's breath catches. I'm a waitress. What can I possibly? You're a survivor. Lorenzo's voice is quiet but absolute. And you know something they don't. What? That you're still alive. The silence stretches. Outside, the wind howls against the villa's stone walls. Naomi sits back down. Slowly, her hands tremble in her lap. If I stay, she whispers, what happens to my brother? Lorenzo pulls out his phone, makes a call, speaks in rapid Italian, hangs up. By tonight, your brother will have a year's supply of insulin. Delivered to his door. Anonymous donor. He looks at her. You have my word. Naomi closes her eyes. When she opens them, something has shifted. Teach me, she says. For days pass like a hell breath. Naomi heals. Lorenzo watches. The villa exists outside of time. No clocks, no schedules, just the rhythm of sun and sand and silence. On the 5th morning, Lorenzo finds her in the kitchen making coffee. She's wearing clothes he had delivered, jeans, a simple shirt, shoes that actually fit. The bruises on her face have turned from purple to yellow-green. You didn't run, he says. You didn't lock the doors. She pours 2 cups. slides one across the counter. So, I guess we both took a risk. Lorenzo accepts the coffee. Drinks. It's good, better than good. Strong and smooth. You worked in a diner too long to make coffee this bad, he says. Almost a smile crosses her face. Almost. My mom taught me. She used to say bad coffee was a sin. She was right. Lorenzo sets down the cup. Get dressed. We're going out. Where? To teach you how to see. They drive into Las Vegas just afternoon. The strip blazes even in daylight. Neon and glass and money burning itself bright. Lorenzo parks 3 blocks from the Mirage Crown Casino. Vince's family owns this, Naomi says. It's not a question. They own 6 casinos in Nevada. This is the flagship. Lorenzo kills the engine. Tell me what you see. Naomi looks at the building. A casino. Look again. She stares harder. The entrance. The valets. The security cameras. The flow of people moving in and out like blood through a heart. There's 3 guards at the front. Cameras on every corner. A side entrance near the loading dock. Better. Lorenzo points. Now watch the people. For 10 minutes, they sit in silence. Naomi watches. A woman in a red dress walks in. Walks out 20 minutes later with empty hands and smudged makeup. A man in a business suit gets out of a town car, nods to the valet like they're old friends, disappears inside. The woman lost, Naomi says slowly. The man, he's a regular. Or he works there. The man is Marcus Delroy, CFO of a construction company that doesn't build anything. Lorenzo's voice is clinical. He comes every Tuesday, delivers cash in a briefcase, leaves with chips. The chips get cashed out under fake names. Naomi turns to look at him. Money laundering. Always. Lorenzo starts the car. The world runs on secrets, Naomi. The trick is knowing which ones to keep and which ones to burn. They drive back as the sun begins its descent. Inside the villa, Lorenzo spreads blueprints across the dining table. Floor plans, security schedules, employee rosters. The Moranos host a charity gala every year, he says. This year it's in 3 weeks. Politicians, celebrities, everyone who matters. He taps the center of the blueprint. That's when we move. Naomi studies the plans. Her finger traces the service corridors. I know these halls. I interviewed for a serving job there last year. Didn't get it. You'll get it this time. Lorenzo looks at her. You'll be my eyes inside. They'll recognize me. No. Lorenzo opens another folder. Inside are photos of Naomi, different hair, different makeup, different clothes. They'll see what we want them to see. A new server. Forgettable. Invisible. Naomi picks up one of the photos, studies her own altered face. And then what? Then you collect evidence. Recordings. Photos. Proof of every transaction, every illegal deal, every dirty dollar. Lorenzo's voice is steel. We don't kill them, Naomi. We expose them. We let the truth do what bullets can't. She sets down the photo, meets his eyes. Why not just kill them? She stops. You're Mafia. Isn't that what you do? Lorenzo is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice carries weight. My father once told me that violence is easy. Any fool with a gun can take a life. He touches the blueprint. But to dismantle a man's empire? To strip away everything he built and leave him standing in the ruins? His eyes are cold. That takes patience, strategy, and proof. Naomi absorbs this. You want them destroyed. I want them erased. Lorenzo rolls up the blueprints. Violence makes martyrs. Evidence makes criminals. I want Vince Morano in prison. I want my cousin exposed. I want everyone who ever trusted them to know exactly what they are. And me? Naomi's voice is barely above a whisper. What do I get? Lorenzo looks at her, really looks at her. The girl who crawled out of the desert. The woman who chose to stay. You get to watch them fall, he says. And you get to walk away knowing you survived. The words hang in the air like a promise. Naomi nods once. Slowly. Then teach me everything. Training begins at dawn. Lorenzo doesn't coddle, doesn't soften. He puts a phone in Naomi's hand and makes her memorize the casino's security rotation. Makes her study facial recognition patterns. Makes her practice walking through rooms without being remembered. Blend, he tells her. Your furniture. Wallpaper. You see everything. They see nothing. Naomi practices her smile, the one that's polite but empty. She learns to pour wine without making eye contact. She memorizes the names of Vince's associates from photographs Lorenzo spreads across the table. This one, Lorenzo points. Marcus Delroy, CFO, money laundering, comes every Tuesday. This one, Angela Tran, city councilwoman, take bribes through her husband's shell company. This one, Naomi pauses, stares at the photo. That's your cousin. Say his name. Luciano Vitali. The name tastes like ash in her mouth. Again, Luciano Vitali. Good. Lorenzo gathers the photos. Fear gives them power. Names make them human. Humans can be destroyed. On the 8th day, Lorenzo takes her to a shooting range outside the city. The sound of gunfire echoes across the empty desert. He puts a pistol in her hand. I don't want to, Naomi starts. You don't have to shoot anyone, Lorenzo interrupts. But you need to know you can. She fires. The recoil surprises her. She fires again and again. By the 20th shot, her hand stops shaking. Why are you doing this? She asks when the magazine empties. Really? Why help me? Lorenzo reloads the gun. Doesn't look at her. Because they try to bury both of us in the desert. His voice is quiet. They just didn't know we were seeds. Naomi stares at him. At the man who saved her life. Who gave her brother medicine. Who's teaching her how to fight back without throwing a single punch. Then let's grow something dangerous, she whispers. Lorenzo's mouth curves, just barely. The first real smile she's seen from him. We already have. That night, Naomi can't sleep. She wanders the villa's halls, finds Lorenzo in his study. He sits at the desk, staring at a photograph. Your family? She asks from the doorway. He looks up, considers lying. Doesn't. My father. Naomi moves closer. The photo shows a man with Lorenzo's eyes, sharp, knowing, tired. He looks like he carried the world. He did, and it killed him. Lorenzo sets down the photo. He believed in honor, loyalty. He thought blood meant something. Doesn't it? Not when it betrays you. Lorenzo's voice hardens. Luciano was like a brother to me. We built the business together, expanded the shipping routes, made the family legitimate. He laughs, a bitter sound. Or so I thought. Naomi sits in the chair across from him. What happened? I trusted him with everything. The accounts, the contacts, the codes. Lorenzo stares at his hands. He waited until I was in Rome handling a negotiation. Emptied the accounts. Deleted the files. Called the FBI from a burner phone and gave them everything. Routes, names, dates. Why? Greed. Fear. Ego. Lorenzo shrugs. Does it matter? He burned everything our family built for a chance to disappear. But he didn't disappear. No. Lorenzo's smile is sharp. He hid. In Vegas. In Murano's shadow. Thinking I'd never find him. He looks at Naomi. And then you walked out of the desert carrying proof. Naomi understands now. The real reason Lorenzo saved her. The reason he's helping. I'm your way in, she says quietly. You're more than that. Lorenzo stands, walks to the window. You're the one thing they won't see coming. They expect violence from me. They expect me to come in loud. Guns, threats, war. He turns back. But you? A waitress who survived? Who knows their world from the inside? His eyes gleam. You're the knife they'll never feel until it's already buried. Naomi's pulse quickens. Not from fear. From something else. Something cold and clear. When do we start? Lorenzo checks his watch. The gala is in 2 weeks. You start at the casino tomorrow. Lunch shift. Use the name Keisha Brown. You're new to Vegas. Your references check out. I made sure of that. What's my job? Observe. Memorize. Survive. He hands her a small device. Looks like a pen. This records audio. Keep in your apron. No one searches the servers. Naomi takes the pen. Tests the weight. And if Vince recognizes me? He won't. Lorenzo's voice is certain. Men like Vince don't see faces. They see property. And you're not his anymore. The words settle into her bones like concrete. No, Naomi says. I'm not. The Mirage Crown Casino glitters like a trap made of light. Naomi walks through the employee entrance at 11 in the morning, wearing a pressed black uniform and her new face. Different hair, straight and pulled back. Contacts that turn her brown eyes hazel. Makeup that sharpens her cheekbones, softens her mouth. She is Keisha Brown, 24. Recent transplant from Phoenix. Needs the money. Keeps her head down. You're late, the floor manager snaps. His name tag reads Derek. He's 40, balding, smells like cigarettes and instant coffee. Saw the GPS problems. Naomi, Keisha, keeps her voice light. Apologetic. Derek grunts, shoves a serving tray into her hands. Lunch rush starts in 10 minutes. Section 4. Don't screw it up. Yes, sir. She moves through the casino floor like smoke. The slot machines sing their electric songs. The air smells like perfume and desperation. Cameras watch from every corner. Black domes in the ceiling, recording everything. Naomi keeps her head down, counts the security guards, notes the exits, memorizes faces. Section 4 is near the high roller tables. Rich men in expensive suits. Women with jewelry that costs more than her brother's medication. They don't look at her when she brings drinks. She's scenery. Perfect. By hour 3, she's found a rhythm. Smile. Cool. Retreat. The recording pen in her apron pocket captures everything. Conversations about offshore accounts, political bribes, construction contracts that violate 6 different laws. Then she sees him, Vince Marano, walking across the floor with 2 men in suits. Laughing. Hair slicked back. Gold watch catching the light. Naomi's hand tightens on the tray. Every muscle screams at her to run. To hide. To you. Derek appears beside her. Marano's table. VIP section. Now. Her heart stops. Starts again. Pounds like it wants to escape her chest. Me? You got a hearing problem? Derek shoves her forward. Move. Naomi walks. Each step feels like crossing a frozen lake. One wrong move, and everything breaks. She reaches the VIP section. Vince sits at the center table. Doesn't look up. Gentlemen. Her voice comes out steady. Calm. What can I get you? Whiskey, one of the men says. Top shelf. Same, says the other. Vince finally looks at her. His eyes scan her face, bored, dismissive. Gin and tonic. Light on the tonic. Naomi nods. Turns. Walks away on legs that barely hold her. He didn't recognize her. She makes the drinks at the bar. Her hands don't shake. The recording pen captures Vince's table conversation. Something about a shipment coming through the port. About Luciano handling the European side. She delivers the drinks. Sets them down without spilling. Vince doesn't even glance at her. She is invisible. She is perfect. The shift ends at 6. Naomi changes in the employee locker room. Walks out through the service exit. Lorenzo waits in the Maserati 3 blocks away. She gets in. Closes the door. Sits in silence for 10 seconds. I saw him, she says. And he didn't know me. She looks at Lorenzo. I was standing right there, serving his drinks. And he looked right through me. Lorenzo starts the car. Good. That's it? Good. That's everything. Lorenzo pulls into traffic. They don't see you, which means they won't see us coming. Naomi leans back against the seat, closes her eyes. The adrenaline drains away, leaves her hollow and buzzing. I recorded 3 hours of conversation, she says. Money laundering, bribery, illegal imports. Perfect. Lorenzo's voice carries satisfaction. 2 more weeks. That's all we need. 2 more weeks. 14 days. 336 hours. Naomi opens her eyes, stares out at the Vegas skyline. All those lights burning money into smoke. Lorenzo, she says quietly, when this is over, when they're exposed, what happens to us? He doesn't answer right away. The city slides past the windows like a fever dream. You disappear, he says finally. New name, new city. Your brother too. I'll make sure of it. And you. Lorenzo's jaw tightens. I go home. Back to Italy. There's still family business to clean up. Will you kill your cousin? No. His voice is stone. I'll give the evidence to the right people. Let the system eat him alive. Death is too quick. He glances at her. You understand that now, don't you? Naomi does. She understands perfectly. Pain isn't violence. Pain is watching everything you built turn to ash while you stand untouched. Yeah, she whispers. I understand. They drive back to the villa in silence. Inside, Lorenzo downloads the recording from her pen, plays it back on his computer. Vince's voice fills the room. Arrogant, careless, confessing to crimes he doesn't think anyone will ever prove. This is good, Lorenzo says. Really good. 3 more recordings like this, and we'll have everything. Naomi sits on the couch, suddenly exhausted. I need to call my brother. Make sure he's okay. Lorenzo hands her a phone. Untraceable. 5 minutes. Don't say where you are. She dials. Her brother answers on the second ring. Naomi. His voice cracks with relief. Where have you been? I've been calling. Okay, I'm safe. Did you get the delivery? Yeah. A whole year's supply. Who sent it? Where did it come from? A friend. Don't worry about it. Naomi's throat tightens. Just stay inside. Keep the doors locked. I'll be home soon. Are you in trouble? No, baby. I'm fixing trouble. She wipes her eyes. I love you. I'll call again in a few days. She hangs up, hands a phone back to Lorenzo. Thank you, she says. He nods, says nothing. Doesn't need to. Outside, the desert wind howls against the glass. Naomi looks out at the darkness, endless and empty and somehow full of possibility. In 2 weeks, Vince Morano's world will collapse. In 2 weeks, Luciano Vitali will face his reckoning. In 2 weeks, justice, quiet and sharp, will finally have its name. The invitation arrives 3 days before the gala. Naomi holds the cream-colored card between her fingers, studying the gold embossed letters. The Morano Foundation requests the pleasure of your company for an evening of giving. Below that smaller print, black tie, VIP service staff required. She's in. Official. Her name, Keisha Brown's name, appears on the roster Lorenzo hacked 2 nights ago. 72 hours, Lorenzo says from across the villa's dining table. He spreads new blueprints, updated layouts, revised security protocols, camera blind spots marked in red. 3 shifts of guards, 32 cameras. But here, he taps a service hallway on the 3rd floor. This corridor goes dark for 8 minutes during shift change. That's your window. Naomi memorizes the route. Kitchen to ballroom. Ballroom to VIP lounge. VIP lounge to Vince's private office on the 3rd floor. The safe is behind a painting. His grandfather's portrait. Lorenzo slides her a small metal device, no bigger than a credit card. This bypasses the electronic lock. 30 seconds, maybe less. What am I looking for? Ledgers, flash drives, anything that proves the money trail between Luciano and the Moranos. Lorenzo's eyes are ice. Vince keeps hard copies. He doesn't trust digital. That's his weakness. Naomi pockets the device, tests its weight. And if someone sees me, you're lost. Looking for the staff bathroom. Play confused. Play scared if you need to. Lorenzo leans back. But you won't need to, because you're invisible, remember? She nods, breathes. The fear that lived in her chest 2 weeks ago has transformed into something sharper, colder, useful. There's one more thing. Lorenzo opens a leather case. Inside, a necklace. Simple silver chain, small pendant. Wear this. It's a camera. Records everything you see. Audio and video. Naomi lifts the necklace. The pendant catches the light. Looks like a normal piece of jewelry. Nothing special. Perfect. They'll search bags, but not bodies, Lorenzo continues. This gets us everything we need for the screens. The screens? Lorenzo's smile could cut glass. You'll see. The next 2 days blur together. Naomi practices the route until she can walk it blindfolded. She studies Vince's office layout from photographs Lorenzo obtained through his contacts. She learns how to pick a lock, not because she'll need to, but because Lorenzo insists. Always have a backup plan, he tells her, and a backup for the backup. On the final night before the gala, Naomi stands in front of the bathroom mirror. Her reflection stares back, hairstyled, makeup flawless, the black server's uniform pressed and perfect. She looks like someone else, feels like someone else. Maybe that's the point. Lorenzo appears in the doorway, studies her for a long moment. You ready? He he asks. Naomi turns to face him. Are you? Something flickers in his expression. Respect, maybe, or recognition. Two people who crawled out of the desert and decided to become weapons. Tomorrow night, Lorenzo says quietly, everything changes. I know. Vince will be there. Luciano will be there. Every politician and criminal in Nevada will be there. He steps closer, and you'll walk among them like a ghost. Take what we need. Walk out, and then we burn their world down. Lorenzo's voice is stone, but we do it clean. No blood, no bodies, just truth. Naomi nods, her pulse steady, her hands still. Good, she whispers. The morning of the gala, Lorenzo receives a phone call. He speaks in Italian, low, urgent. When he hangs up, his face is unreadable. What is it? Naomi asks. Luciano's leaving the country in 48 hours. New identity, new life. Lorenzo's jaw tightens. Tonight is our last chance. The weight of those words settles like concrete. One shot, one night, no room for mistakes. Then we don't miss, Naomi says. Lorenzo looks at her, really looks at her. The girl he found dying in the sand. The woman who chose to fight. No, he agrees. We don't. At 4 in the afternoon, Naomi dresses in the villa's guest room. The uniform fits perfectly. The necklace camera hangs just below her collarbone, visible but unremarkable. The bypass device sits in her pocket. The recording pen clips to her apron. She's armed with technology and rage. She is ready. Lorenzo drives her to the casino, parks 3 blocks away like always. Before she gets out, he catches her wrist. Naomi, his voice is different, softer. If anything goes wrong, if you feel unsafe for even a second, you leave. Forget the mission. Forget everything. You walk out and you run. She meets his eyes. I'm not running anymore. I know, but I need you to promise me anyway. Naomi squeezes his hand once. I promise. She gets out of the car, walks toward the Mirage Crown Casino. The building blazes with light, every window glowing, every surface polished to perfection. Inside, chaos. Servers rushing, managers shouting. The gala starts in 2 hours and nothing is ready. Derek spots her immediately. Keisha, thank God. Ballroom setup. Now, Naomi moves through the crowd. Finds her position. The ballroom is massive, crystal chandeliers, white tablecloths, centerpieces that cost more than most people's rent. A stage at the far end. Giant LED screens flanking it. Those screens, that's where Lorenzo's truth will play. She works steadily, pouring water glasses, arranging silverware. Her eyes track every exit, every camera, every guard. At 6:30, the guests begin arriving. Politicians in tuxedos, celebrities in gowns, criminals in expensive suits pretending to be philanthropists. At 7, Naomi sees him. Vince Marano, center of attention, shaking hands, laughing, his smile wide and empty. Her chest tightens. Her breath stays level. At 7:15, she sees the other one, Luciano Vitali, shorter than Lorenzo, softer, but the same eyes, cold and calculating. He stands near the bar, talking to a woman in diamonds. Naomi moves past them, invisible, serving champagne, recording everything. The pendant camera captures faces, voices, confessions hidden in casual conversation. At 8 o'clock, the speeches begin. Vince takes the stage, talks about giving back to the community, about making Vegas better for everyone. Naomi stands in the shadows, watching, waiting. At 8:45, the shift change happens. Guards rotate. The third-floor hallway goes dark for 8 minutes. It's showtime, she whispers to herself. Naomi slips away from the ballroom during the dessert course. Nobody notices. Servers are furniture, always moving, never seen. She takes the service stairs. Second floor, third floor. The hallway stretches ahead. Empty, dim. The camera's dark during shift change. 6 minutes left. She walks quickly but doesn't run. Running looks guilty. Walking looks lost. Vince's office sits at the end of the hall. Mahogany door. Gold nameplate. She tries the handle first, locked obviously. The bypass device slides into the electronic reader. 3 seconds. A soft click. She's in. The office smells like leather and cigars. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the strip. A desk the size of a car. And there, on the wall behind the desk, a portrait of an old man with Vince's eyes. His grandfather. Naomi crosses the room, lifts the painting. Behind it, a wall safe, exactly where Lorenzo said it would be. The bypass device works on this lock too. She presses it against the keypad. Numbers flash. The safe opens. Inside, folders, flash drives, stacks of cash. She ignores the money. Takes 3 folders, 2 drives. Photographs them with the pendant camera. Puts them back exactly as they were. For minutes left. She closes the safe. Repositions the painting. Checks the desk. Nothing on it except a laptop and a glass of half-finished whiskey. She turns to leave. The door opens. Vince stands in the doorway. Time stops. Naomi's heart stops. Everything stops. Vince's eyes narrow. Who are you? She forces her face into confusion. Fear. I'm sorry. I was looking for the bathroom. Someone said it was up here. The staff bathroom is on the first floor. Vince steps inside. Closes the door behind him. What are you really doing in my office? Naomi backs up. Lets her voice shake. I got lost. I'm new. I am sorry. Vince moves closer. Studies her face. His eyes sharp now. Focused. You look familiar, he says slowly. Her pulse hammers. The pendant camera records everything. The bypass device burns in her pocket. I have one of those faces. Naomi edges toward the door. I should get back. They'll be looking for me. Vince blocks her path. Wait. She stops. No choice. He leans in, stares at her, and then recognition floods his face like poison. UV breathes. You're that waitress. From Lucky's. Naomi's blood turns to ice. I don't know what you are. You hit me with a coffee pot. Vince's voice drops to something dangerous. We left you in the desert. You were supposed to die there. The room shrinks. The air thickens. Clearly, Naomi says quietly, I didn't. For 3 seconds, neither of them moves. Then Vince lunges for the phone on his desk. Naomi moves faster. She grabs the whiskey glass and throws it. The glass shatters against the wall. Vince flinches just for a second. That's all she needs. She runs, yanks open the door, sprints down the hallway as Vince's shout echoes behind her. Security, 3rd floor. Now, the cameras are back online. Guards are coming. Naomi hits the stairs at a full sprint. 2nd floor. 1st floor. She bursts into the kitchen. Servers everywhere, chaos, noise. She rips off her apron, drops the recording pen in a trash bin, keeps the pendant camera. Derek appears. Where have you been? Bathroom. Sorry. Food poisoning. She presses a hand to her stomach. I think I need to go home. Derek waves her off, already distracted by the next crisis. Naomi walks out through the employee entrance. Into the night. 3 blocks to where Lorenzo waits. She gets in the car, slams the door. Drive, she gasps. Lorenzo doesn't ask questions, just drives. Fast and clean through the Vegas streets. Did you get it? He asks after 2 minutes. Naomi pulls the pendant camera over her head. Hands it to him. Everything. The safe. The ledgers. All of it. And Vince. She closes her eyes. He knows I'm alive. Lorenzo's hands tighten on the wheel. Did he see the camera? No, but he'll be looking for me now. Good. Lorenzo's voice is steel. Let him look, because in 90 minutes, he won't have time to look for anything except his lawyers. They don't go back to the villa. Too risky. Instead, Lorenzo drives to a hotel on the outskirts, the kind that doesn't ask questions and takes cash. In the room, Lorenzo connects the pendant camera to his laptop, downloads everything. The footage plays across the screen, Vince's office, the safe, the documents. Perfect, Lorenzo murmurs. This is everything we need. What about the screens? Naomi asks. You said something about screens. Lorenzo smiles, sharp and cold. The LED screens in the ballroom. I had someone install a backdoor in the system 3 days ago. At 9:30, during Vince's closing speech, those screens are going to show every piece of evidence we collected. Every recording, every document, every confession. Naomi stares at him. In front of everyone, politicians, celebrities, journalists. Lorenzo's eyes gleam. And the FBI? I sent them an anonymous tip this morning. They'll have agents in the crowd. You planned this whole thing. I planned the exposure. You made it possible. Lorenzo closes the laptop. In 30 minutes, Vince Morano's life ends. Not with a bullet, with the truth. Naomi sits on the edge of the bed, her hands still shaking from adrenaline. And your cousin? Luciano's face will be all over those screens, connected to every crime, every dollar. Lorenzo's voice is quiet, satisfied. By midnight, he'll be in federal custody, and by morning, he'll wish I had just killed him. The hotel room fills with silence. Outside, Vegas glows, neon and sin and money burning itself away. At 9:30 exactly, Lorenzo's phone buzzes. A message. One word, done. He shows Naomi the screen. Somewhere across the city, in a ballroom full of Las Vegas's elite, the LED screens are flickering to life, showing everything, every crime, every name, every secret dragged into the light. Naomi imagines Vince's face. The moment he realizes what's happening, the moment he understands he's been destroyed. She smiles. The news breaks at 10:15. Lorenzo's laptop streams live coverage from 6 different stations. Every channel shows the same thing. Chaos at the Mirage Crown Casino. Federal agents swarming the building. Guests fleeing. Camera flashes like lightning. The reporter's voice cuts through the noise. Breaking news tonight as a charity gala at the Mirage Crown Casino was interrupted by what authorities are calling one of the largest evidence leaks in Nevada history. Graphic displays showing alleged money laundering, bribery, and connections to organized crime were broadcast to hundreds of guests, including several FBI agents who were in attendance. The screen switches to footage of Vince Morano being led out in handcuffs. His face twisted, ruined. Naomi watches without blinking. Vince Morano, son of casino magnate Anthony Morano, was taken into custody tonight along with several associates, including Italian businessman Luciano Vitali. Sources say the evidence presented tonight includes financial records, recorded conversations, and video documentation of criminal activity spanning the past 2 years. Lorenzo leans back in his chair, closes his eyes briefly. When he opens them, something has lifted from his face, a weight he's carried for months. It's done, he says quietly. Naomi nods. Can't speak yet. The relief is too big, too overwhelming. The reporter continues. Authorities are also crediting an anonymous source, described only as a casino employee, who allegedly gathered much of this evidence over the past several weeks. The FBI has stated they will offer protection and immunity to this individual in exchange for testimony. They'll look for me, Naomi says. They won't find you. Lorenzo closes the laptop. Tomorrow morning, you and your brother get new IDs, new names, new lives. I've already arranged transport to Seattle. You'll have a bank account with enough money to start over. A clean slate. Seattle. Naomi tests the word. It sounds like freedom, like rain instead of sand. Your brother's already being moved tonight. He doesn't know yet. He thinks it's a medical transfer. By dawn, you'll both be 3 states away. Naomi looks at Lorenzo, really looks at him. The man who saved her life, who taught her how to fight without violence, who turned her pain into power. What about you? She asks. I leave tonight. Private jet to Rome. Lorenzo stands, straightens his jacket. There's still work to do in Italy. Family business that needs cleaning. Your cousin will spend the rest of his life in an American prison. That's justice enough. Lorenzo's voice carries finality. I could have killed him. Part of me wanted to. But this, he gestures to the laptop. This is worse than death. He'll live every day knowing I destroyed him without ever touching him. Naomi understands. Violence is quick. Exposure is forever. I don't know how to thank you, she says. You already did. You survived. Lorenzo moves to the door, pauses. The world tried to bury you, Naomi, but you refused to stay down. That's not something you thank someone for teaching you. That's who you already were. Her throat tightens. Will I ever see you again? Lorenzo considers this. I don't know. Maybe. If fate decides we're not finished with each other. A small smile. But I doubt it. You're going to disappear. Live quietly. Be happy. That's the whole point. And you? I'm going to make sure what's left of my family remembers what loyalty means. He opens the door. Goodbye, Naomi Carter. Or whoever you're going to be tomorrow. Goodbye, Lorenzo Vitali. He leaves. The door clicks shut. Naomi sits alone in the hotel room, listening to the hum of the air conditioner and the distant wail of sirens. On a laptop screen, muted now, footage plays of Vince being loaded into a police car. His empire collapsing in real time. His power evaporating like water in the desert. Naomi closes the laptop, closes her eyes. For the first time in 3 weeks, she lets herself cry. Not from pain, from relief. From the strange, overwhelming weight of surviving something that should have killed her. Outside, Vegas burns bright, but she's already gone. At 3 in the morning, a car arrives. Black sedan, tinted windows. The driver doesn't speak, just hands Naomi a folder. Inside, new ID, new social security card, new birth certificate. Her name is Amara Hayes now. 25. Born in Portland. Clean history. The driver takes her to a private airfield. A small plane waits, lights dim, engine already running. Inside, her brother sits by the window, confused and scared. Naomi. Ty's voice cracks. What's happening? They said. She pulls him into a hug. Holds tight. We're safe. We're leaving. I'll explain everything later. Are you in trouble? No, baby. I got us out of trouble. She smooths his hair like she used to when he was small. We're going somewhere new. Somewhere better. The plane lifts off as dawn breaks over the desert. Naomi watches through the window as Vegas shrinks below, all those lights fading into nothing. She doesn't look back. 6 months later, the rain falls soft against the windows of the Desert Rose. The restaurant sits on the edge of Lake Tahoe, small, elegant, tucked between pine trees and water. Inside, candles flicker on tables set with care. The smell of roasted garlic and fresh bread fills the air. Amara Hayes, formerly Naomi Carter, wipes down the bar. Her hair is natural now, curls loose and free. No more contacts, no more pretending. The restaurant is hers. Bought with money Lorenzo transferred before he disappeared. The deed arrived 3 months ago with a note. You earned this. Not because you were saved, but because you fought. She's kept the note in a drawer behind the bar. Business is good. Not huge, but steady. Locals love the food. Italian-African fusion. Recipes she created by mixing her mother's cooking with techniques Lorenzo taught her during those quiet nights in the desert villa. Ty works in the kitchen. 19 now. Healthy. Thriving. He doesn't ask about Vegas anymore. Doesn't need to know the details. All he knows is that his sister saved them both. Tonight, the restaurant is nearly full. Couples on dates. Families celebrating birthdays. People living normal lives. The kind of life Naomi once thought was impossible for her. She's closing at 10 when the door opens. A man walks in. Tall. Well-dressed. Gray suit that costs more than most people's cars. Silver ring on his left hand. Engraved with a crest she recognizes. Amara's breath catches. The man doesn't speak. Just walks to the bar. Sits. His face is unfamiliar, but his eyes, cold, calculating, patient, remind her of someone. We're about to close, Amara says carefully. The man nods. I won't be long. He slides a white envelope across the bar. Someone asked me to deliver this. Amara stares at the envelope. Doesn't touch it yet. Who? Someone who wanted to make sure you were still standing. The man stands. He also wanted me to tell you that in Italy, certain families have learned what loyalty means again, and certain traitors have learned what betrayal costs. He leaves before she can respond. The door closes quietly behind him. Amara picks up the envelope. Her hand shakes slightly, not from fear, from something else. Recognition. Memory. Inside, a single note, handwritten in elegant script. Justice is quiet, but loyalty echoes. You walked out of the desert and built something beautiful. Never forget what you survived. Never forget what you're capable of. Envy. Below the note, a single black rose. Pressed flat. Preserved. Amara presses the note to her chest. Closes her eyes. Tears slip down her cheeks, but she's smiling. Behind her, Ty emerges from the kitchen. You okay, sis? She wipes her eyes, tucks the note back into the envelope. Yeah, I'm good. Who was that guy? Just someone delivering a message. She looks at her brother. Alive, healthy, safe. Come on, let's close up and go home. They lock the doors together, turn off the lights, walk out into the rain. Soft and clean and nothing like the desert. Amara looks up at the sky. Somewhere across an ocean, Lorenzo Vitali is rebuilding an empire. Somewhere in a federal prison, Vince Morano is learning what it means to lose everything. Somewhere in the past, a girl collapsed in the sand and refused to die. And here, now, in this moment, Amara Hayes is free. She tucks the envelope into her jacket pocket. The black rose rests against her heart. Thank you, she whispers to the rain, to the night, to the man who saw her as more than a victim. The wind carries her words away. 3 years after the desert rose has expanded. A second location opened in Portland, then a third in San Francisco. Amara's face appears in food magazines, not as a celebrity, but as a chef who built something from nothing. A woman with a story she never fully tells. In interviews, she says she came from difficult circumstances, that she learned resilience the hard way, that her cooking represents survival transformed into art. People love that narrative. They don't need to know about the desert, the Mafia boss, the gala, the quiet justice that changed everything. Some stories are better left as shadows. Ty graduated culinary school last spring. He runs the Portland location now, engaged to a girl he met at a farmer's market, building a life Naomi once thought was impossible. On a Tuesday in October, Amara receives a package. No return address. Postmarked from Rome. Inside, a photograph. Lorenzo Vitali standing in front of a legitimate shipping company. His hair's grayer now, face lined but peaceful. He's surrounded by young people, employees maybe, or family learning a new way. On the back of the photo, one sentence in his handwriting. Redemption takes time, but it's real. Amara pins the photo to her office wall. Next to it, the original note. The black rose, framed now. She doesn't try to contact him. Doesn't need to. Some connections exist beyond words, beyond distance. That evening, a young woman walks into the Desert Rose. Early 20s, nervous, wearing a waitress uniform from a diner down the highway. I heard you're hiring, the girl says. Her hands shake. I need work. I have a kid. I'm trying to. She stops. Swallows. I just need a chance. Amara sees herself in the girl's eyes. The fear, the desperation, the steel underneath. What's your name? Amara asks. Zara. Okay, Zara. Here's what we're going to do. Amara hands her an application. Fill this out. And tomorrow, you start training. Same pay as everyone else. No games. No harassment. You work hard. You'll be fine here. Zara's eyes fill with tears. Just like that. Just like that. Amara smiles. Because someone gave me a chance once. And it saved my life. Zara takes the application with shaking hands. Thank you. I won't let you down. I know you won't. After Zara leaves, Amara stands at the window, watches the sun set over the lake. The water glows copper and gold. She thinks about Lorenzo, wonders if he ever thinks about her, if he knows what his rescue became. Not just one life saved, but dozens. Everyone she employs, everyone she feeds, everyone who walks through her door looking for hope. The desert tried to bury them both. Instead, they became seeds. And now, years later, those seeds have grown into forests. Amara touches the window glass. Warm from the sun. Solid. Real. Justice is quiet, she whispers to her reflection. But loyalty echoes. Outside, the wind moves through the trees. Inside, the restaurant fills with laughter and music and the smell of food cooked with love. The world keeps turning. And Amara Hayes, once Naomi Carter, keeps rising. The greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's building something so beautiful that the people who tried to destroy you become footnotes in your story of triumph. If this journey inspired you, share your thoughts below. Tell us about a time you turned pain into power. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because stories like this remind us that kindness, strategy, and courage can change everything. We post stories that inspire, stories that challenge, stories that prove quiet strength can move mountains. Join our community. Share your truth. Inspire others. Because the best story you'll ever tell is the one where you refuse to stay down. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. And let's keep growing together. Because just like Naomi and Lorenzo proved, the desert might bury you, but it can't stop you from becoming something greater. See you in the next story. Until then, stay strong, stay strategic, and never forget, justice doesn't need to be loud to be real.